The first half was so much fun, we'd be remiss not to play a second. Finally, the Sun to the USL Cup playoffs. Swope Park Rangers are playing the Phoenix Rising FC in the quarterfinal round of the Western Conference, along with Matt Stubbington, Mike Watts. And when you look at these standings in the brackets right now, the winner of this game will take on Sacramento in the second round.
Well, Sacramento getting the upset victory in the first round, so excitement already in the playoff picture. As you said, Mike, the winner of this game will host Sacramento next week.
Let's take a look at first half highlights because, yes, we are in the second half of play. Chris Cortez was very good.
He certainly was, getting on the end of that vertical pass from Dia. Couldn't quite get enough purchase on the shot, had to wait for the ball just a little bit. Nice save from McLeod, though, the goalkeeper for the Rangers. Off of the corner kick in the 30th minute, Dia Drogba taking the kick. Cortez again rising highest. Nice footwork from the goalkeeper to get to his left to make the nice save at that far post.
So it remains 0-0 at the 30th minute. This is good an opportunity as either team really had, and then the rain started to fall. The teams at halftime going to the locker room will come back in 15 minutes, maybe try and be a bit more offensive. Wouldn't turn out that way. Lightning would strike, a hellacious rainstorm would come through. They would eventually get the field playable, but one more lightning strike right at 9 p.m. Pacific time was the end of the line for last night.
Well, the MVPs last night were the ground staff because they worked tirelessly to get the field playable. With that lightning strike right 2 minutes before kickoff for the second half really killed things. Starting lineup for Phoenix Rising should be the same starting the second half. We're going to look to Jason Johnson. He'd pick up a knock in that first half of action, see whether the night's rest was able to get him right for today and see if he can return to action.
On the other side, Swope Park Rangers, the affiliate of Sporting Kansas City, have a couple of star players on their roster, including a youth international that really impressed you in the back.
Eric Palmer-Brown did a really good job in that first half, played very well defensively, had an opportunity offensively as well, off of a corner kick, couldn't quite put it on target though, but a very impressive player. See if he continues his good play in the second half this afternoon.
We have been told now a couple changes in the Phoenix lineup for the second half. We'll tell you about them when we come back. Swope Park, Phoenix Rising, the playoffs, the second half, next.
At Pruitt's, savings and style live comfortably together. And right now, the selection has never been better. Just look at this three-piece Sonoma Chaise sectional, only $599. And this urban casual four-piece bedroom, just $499. Visit Pruitt's for the lowest prices and best selection. Alma School and Ray or Thomas Road and 34th Street. Pruitt's, proudly serving the Valley for 65 years.
Okay, one large popcorn, couple of drinks, that's $15.75.
I got this.
What are you doing? Oh, mind tricks. That's cute, buddy. But you still have to pay.
With Arizona Federal Credit Union, I can pay with my Apple Watch. I don't need cash or card.
Stop.
Arizona Federal provides mobile solutions when you need them most.
You will upgrade your popcorn for $1 more.
I will upgrade my popcorn for $1 more.
Really?
No.
Arizona Federal. Now that's the power of us.
It's all about the food. You really need to have a passion for what you do and a passion for food. The Big Kahuna. It's 12 ounces of ground beef, topped with some cheddar cheese, lettuce, tomato, homemade pickle. I mean, it's just a huge meal. I believe in a scratch kitchen because I'm passionate about the food that we serve our guests, and I love seeing people enjoy the food that we create.
Phoenix Rising back on the field. You see Kevon Lambert there, healthy enough to continue on. Two changes coming at halftime. It was a rather extended one, about 20 hours. Gladson Awako has come into the game as Matt Watson as well. Sam Hamilton out in midfield and Jason Johnson out on the wing. Picked up a knock. We don't know the severity of it. for these two teams, there's a bit of age on this Phoenix group, and this is what it looked like inside the locker room last night. Patrice Carteron has a very strict stretching regimen that he's put the team through over the course of the last few months. They're hoping that this, along with stretching done this morning, could help keep players like Matt Watson, who did not play last night but are trying to get fresh early in the day, and players like Didier Drogba, who did play last night and have to make a quick turnaround, ready to go for this full 45, potentially plus minutes.
Well, stretching and massage is so important in the recovery of these athletes. You want to keep your flexibility up, and so important, and I'm glad that Patrice Carteron has implemented it for the Phoenix Rising, and see whether it pays them dividends this afternoon.
Let's be honest, this is a much nicer day for a playoff match.
It certainly is. Sun is shining. Not looking over your shoulder to see whether the lightning is going to start or not.
It looks like we'll be clear for the second half. Welcome to day 2 of this quarterfinal matchup. Swope Park Rangers, the 4 seed taking on 5th seeded Phoenix Rising FC. A little push there from Džidić. Didier Drogba not taking kindly to it. Amir Džidić was up for USL Defender of the Year last season with good reason, was brought up to the Sporting KC side for CONCACAF Champions League in August of last season. Luigi Mala, part of a back line that's unchanged from last night. Vasquez on the right. Or rather, Wakasa on the right and Vasquez on the left, and Stewart and Mala in between. Josh Cohen in goal again. Header bounces by Watson. Hernandez held up. Wakasa. Well, header was won by Phoenix. Džidić did not put anything on it. It's Chris Cortez again.
He was very busy in the first half and continues his industry into the second. It's going to be interesting to see how this Phoenix Rising team cope without Jason Johnson in the lineup. So important for them in the closing parts of the season, with 9 of his 13 goals coming in the last 10 matches. If Cortez keeps going the way he's been going in this match, I wouldn't be surprised to see him put some more shots on target.
Jordan Stewart. Drogba rose up to meet it. Back for Lambert. Header snap by Džidić. And Gladson Awako is going to have a go. Off frame. And a rare moment through the first 45-plus minutes of this match where we've really seen an offensive player take a chance.
Too cautious, I think, last night, and you and I were discussing things, and it felt like both teams were looking over their shoulder, wondering when the bad weather was going to start, and were maybe a little bit cautious throughout that first 45 minutes, waiting for the interruption of play that we knew was coming. And we're hoping that today that, and hopefully with the early signs from Awako and Cortez, that they're not looking over their shoulder anymore, they're just looking forwards now, see if they can put their best foot forward and have a good performance this afternoon.
Comes to Palmer Brown. Pasher the target, won if momentarily by Mala. Maloto wide for Pasher. Look at deflection. Corner on the way here for Swope Park in the 49th minute.
Pasher was a real bright spot for Swope Park Rangers last night. Again, continues his industry down the left side. Gave Wakasa all kinds of problems, the right fullback for Phoenix Rising.
It'll be Felipe Hernandez, the academy player signed in August last season. That's steered away from the line initially, and Drogba launching it back to the halfway line.
Again, we see that lineup at the front post, that cluster of players from the Rangers right in front of Josh Cohen. so difficult to defend.
Belmar. Wakasa kicks it away. It's Kevon Lambert, the Jamaican who signed mid-season after a strong Gold Cup performance with the national team. Asher turns away from Matt Watson. Jordan Stewart now. Played 4 years in San Jose in Major League Soccer. Drogba comes away. Drogba trying to beat the keeper! Just over the crossbar. He was looking for something absolutely phenomenal there.
A big smile from Drogba. He didn't miss that by much. I had to hold my breath because that tickled the net, and I wasn't sure whether it was inside or outside of the post there, Mike. Fantastic effort from Drogba. McLeod was struggling. And still is struggling, down on his haunches. He collided with that post as he went to make sure that ball wasn't going into the back of his net. Great strength from Drogba, just looks up, chips the ball forwards, drives it forwards, and yes, McLeod does make contact with the post. Bravery from the goalkeeper, hopefully he's okay.
David Grechik is the backup. He's a rookie out of Rutgers. Adrian Zendejas is the primary goalkeeper for Swope Park. But with today being decision day in Major League Soccer, the man who brought this Swope Park team to the USL Cup final last year between the pipes is actually with Sporting Kansas City at Real Salt Lake. And so he is unavailable today. Oh, there is a bit of blood there, too. They'll have to sort out. Well, how many players would try this?
He didn't miss by much.
He did have that beat, didn't he?
He beat the goalkeeper, absolutely.
Well, if he's able to continue on, this is quite a feat. Darren McLeod out of Drake in his rookie season out of Waterloo in Ontario, Canada. Before the season, Nikola Popovich saying he suits the profile we look for here at Swope Park. A chance to show his quality. 4 starts during the year. This is first start in the USL Cup playoffs for a Swope Park team that last year went all the way to the final. They are the Western Conference reigning champions as the 4 seed. They fell to New York in the USL Cup final. That New York team knocking off a unsuspecting Charleston Battery team last night in the 2-7 matchup in the East, one of a long line of upsets that have already occurred in the USL Cup playoffs.
It was a big upset. New York putting 4 goals past Velo, Cutler, Bonomo, and Mines getting the goals last night. For New York Red Bulls too. Nice little moment there, Drogba going across to McLeod, checking on the keeper.
Maybe they can do a jersey exchange afterwards or something to that effect. I'm not sure that Didier has a Swope Park Rangers jersey yet.
Well, they're going to be cleaner than normal because we know that the teams both washed their uniforms during the halftime break. You were showing me the Twitter feed from, was it Phoenix Rising, saying that they had breakfast, dinner, and washed their uniforms in halftime.
The quote, best halftime ever, says Sam Dorr. Yeah. All of a sudden, we found out that Phoenix Rising are a bunch of jokers on Twitter. Jose Bosch is sending dad jokes. Speaking of, how do you make a Kleenex dance?
I have no idea.
Yeah, you put a little boogie in it. Jose Bosch is really taking comedy back a few steps on Phoenix Rising's Twitter yesterday, tagging Swope Rangers throughout. An effort to make something of a 3-hour lightning delay. A push from Jordan Stewart here.
Silly mistake from the center back from Phoenix Rising. Arms up high, doesn't need to do that. Rangers choosing to go short with it.
It's Parker Marr looking for Pasher, shoved off the race by Luigi Mala, picked up by Josh Cohen, whose season in between the pipes for Phoenix really mirrors what we saw from Swope Park last year. Swope Park last year, 0 shutouts in the first 11 games. They had 9 in their final 14, including the playoffs. And for Phoenix, 0 shutouts in the first 14 games, 9 cents. Last 18 games.
The early part of Phoenix Rising season was very disruptive, faced adversity. Patrice Carteron came along, Didier Drogba came along, and everything calmed down, and the Phoenix rose to the top. Almost great closing streak to the season.
Well, they're going through Let's Rise week presented by Equality Health right now. A new partner, and part of the humor of it is almost that they weren't supposed to make the playoffs at the midseason point. They weren't in the top 8. Now that they are, and one of these teams is going to host Sacramento next week, they go from let's celebrate a great home season to we could have another home game on Saturday night.
All to play for.
Chris Cortez involved in the foot race there. Comes to Cody Wakasa. Winner would host the Republic, who knocked off Real Monarchs in the opening round on Friday night in penalties. Good move here by Kevon Lambert. Lambert driving in still, low cross, cleared as far as Cortez. Pops it away from Pasher and kicked out by Parker Marr.
Lovely movement there, Lambert and Watson. Watson just dropping back defensively, sucked the 2 defenders in, and that allowed Lambert to exploit the space between the 2 defenders, and almost got a great opportunity deep in the attacking third.
Cortez plays Wakasa in the air for Drogba. Hit by Vasquez. Lambert played away and belongs to Christian Duke. Well, it's good to see that Darren McLeod's able to continue on and makes what's an easy claim here. McLeod had familiar company there. Sends it into the stands. Jidic physically winning that ball.
Needed to make sure of his header. Drogba was lurking off of that throw-in from Dia.
Too far for Cortez, and Parker Marr will toss in. Eric Palmer Brown, his 5th USL start of the season, combining with Jidic in the back. Pasher circling. Maloto. There were no changes for Swope Park at halftime. Kevin Oliveira is not available in this game. Nansel Selbel is, notably offensively. Wako unable to keep it, and Dia, the former Sporting Kansas City draft pick, the first round a couple of years ago, kept the ball for Phoenix and white. Well, this game has a little bit more connectivity for really both teams than it did in the opening 45 minutes last night.
No, absolutely. It's a much better soccer game that we're witnessing in this second half than we did yesterday evening. A little bit more energy about these two teams.
Asher chasing still, and Josh Cohen will take over.
And Casa needed somebody in the middle of the park there for the Rising to pass it to, but there was nobody making a checking run.
Ball knocked out. It was Colton Storm there defensively. And a corner on the way.
Thumbs up from Dia. Appreciating that ball played forwards.
That was a battle of 2 first-round picks. There they are. 2017 Colton Storm, 2015 Amadou Dia, Sporting KC. Typically we've seen Drogba the first half take these corners. Instead, Gladson Awako, who came off the bench at quote-unquote halftime. Loto pops that in the air, and Palmer Brown swings it back to Watson, who lobs it over the top. Cortez did not get a touch. It comes to McLeod.
First time he needed to make contact with his head in the box, he failed to do so. The other chances he's put into the goalkeeper's hands. Poor clearances from the Rangers, and they live to fight another day because Cortez couldn't make contact.
Watson, Owako back, Lambert. Kevon Lambert leaned way too far back, and as the zoo would attest, the kick is good. But the shot was not.
Poor quality from Lambert. Lots of players in front of him, but just couldn't find the passing seam to find a teammate, so he goes with the shot option. In the end, it's high and not necessarily wide, but somebody's got to go and fetch that ball in the area to our right.
Drogba's attempt to lay that through off the head of Jidic. Throw coming for Phoenix. Carlton Belmar, the Rookie of the Year in 2015, making some contact. Drogba wheeling that back towards the area, and ultimately wins a corner for Phoenix Rising through his effort. Maybe Amadou Diaz too.
Belmar for the Rangers has been very quiet throughout this match. I haven't called his name a whole lot at all. Top scorer, goal scorer for the Rangers. You want to be talking about him in the attacking third, but just haven't mentioned him at all.
Four goals the last 3 games since returning from injury for Didier Drogba. This time Drogba wheeling it toward the byline, left it short. And the run out is held by Vasquez. Stewart.
Nice touch from Hernandez to keep that ball in play for the Rangers, but Vasquez getting goal side beautifully and using his teammate Stewart to keep possession for the Rising. It's a good play from both sides.
Bounces all the way to McLeod. Doesn't matter which goalkeeper this Swope Park team has had over the last couple of years. 24 wins at home, including the playoffs. That's most of any team in USL in that span. Marc Dos Santos last year saying that his team felt invincible at home before the USL Cup final. The first time they had to go on the road in that lengthy playoff run. Mala. Attention Phoenix Rising fans, time to celebrate a rich tradition. Dia de los Muertos Scratchers tickets from the Arizona Lottery. Play for a chance to win up to $10,000 instantly. 3 unique tickets designed by local Arizona artists. Visit your favorite Arizona Lottery retailer to play. Chris Cortez. Cortez slowing up, and his through ball had no target. And Owako gesturing to one another.
Credit to Benanthan there. His great defensive presence forced Cortez to just string his dribble along. Couldn't enter into the attacking third.
Belmar. Belmar cutting back. Laying off for Meloto. And lobbed out by the Phoenix defense. Drogba was all of 4 yards across halfway and was still in an offside position.
Back to play the ball from that offside position. You see his frustration. It's great to see the great man having a good time playing this beautiful game that we love so much. He's been all over the globe. He's played in some huge matches, and yet he still smiles and enjoys what he does for a living.
Well, and there he was giving a bit of a hug to one of the really good players in USL this year, Christian Duke, who led the team in minutes, an Ironman. Also 3rd in the league in passes completed in the top 15 in assists this year. Duke had a fantastic season. He's on the ball now, the first signing this Swope Park franchise. Did connect here with Carlton Belmar. Marr. Duke. Played through. Lala there defensively. Out to midfield. So now Swope is looking like the team that's getting the possession they're looking for. Through for Belmar. Belmar put it in, but it won't count. It will not count. That could have been his 15th goal of the year, but he was offside.
Just couldn't time his run well enough. Did get behind the back line. Van Anthem looking up. Wakasa with his arm up saying it's offside. Belmar plays the whistle smartly. And the official on the far sideline agrees with Wakasa and puts the flag up.
Well, this does find its way up the line for Amadou Dia. Dia looking for Drogba. It's headed away. Dia's going to get a second bite at the apple. Dia crossing. Palmer Brown is there. Headed back. Cortez. Cortez shooting over the bar.
Rising players claiming that that was deflected for a corner kick, but the referee indicates it's a goal kick. How about those defensive headers there from Palmer Brown? The first one was fantastic. The second even better, but it did fall to the foot of Cortez, and he just puts it over the crossbar. Very difficult effort. He was under pressure. He couldn't wait for that ball to drop down in order to have a better swing at that ball.
I was going to say, it was Christian Duke there who was swinging his leg around at the same time. Someone who was going to get that ball. Awako. Dia's gotten in behind. Amadou Dia! Just missed.
Credit the goalkeeper McLeod for the save. The referee's indicating that that goes out for a corner kick. Dia was selfish. He went for the shot. He had players to his right in support. Drogba was there. Cortez was there. He goes for the goal. And the goalkeeper must have touched it because it is a corner kick for the Phoenix Rising. Fantastic effort from Dia, but credit the goalkeeper with a brilliant save.
Well done, McLeod. Dia for the moment. Drogba. Oh, there's that man again. Dia back into the mixer. Vasquez.
Always reaching for the ball was Vasquez. Third one we've seen from the Rising over that crossbar and into the greenery to our right. Already in the 22 minutes we've been playing, we've seen more action in both attacking thirds than we saw in the first half last night.
Hernandez and now Belmar. It'll come back. Palmer Brown. Awako was coming. Well done to play through Maloto.
Ticky-tack there from the referee. Calling the foul against Maloto.
So Guido Gonzalez had no sub at halftime, we note now. Referee hasn't been all too busy in this second half. Vasquez. Stewart. Drogba back heel. Amadou Dia was in an offside position.
Started his run when the initial ball was played forwards and strayed as Drogba flicked that ball forwards beautifully, the outside of his right boot. One thing having the imagination to try those tricks off, it's another thing having the skill to do it. And Drogba has both. Stewart apologizing to his teammates not getting the ball up the pitch. Been such a huge part of what Phoenix have been doing this season. He was so disappointed in the early part of the year after a particularly bad performance by Phoenix Rising at home. The very next morning he went in and apologized to the coaching staff and promised that he and the team would do better, and I think we've seen that they certainly did do better as the season progressed. Swope Park Rangers might be making a change.
First for Swope Park, it's Natzel Selbel. Pasher on his way out. Selbel moving to Kansas City in 2014. Born in Nigeria, they refer to him as Star Boy there. He has 9 goals on the season.
A little disappointed that Pashar is out of the game. He was so positive last night.
Selbel will reload. Selbel slipping it through. Hernandez couldn't get in behind.
Frustration from Hernandez, not able to get on the end of that ball. Not surprised that Popovic has gone to his bench, but Pasha, for me, was a real bright spot, particularly in the first half last night, meaning a little bit quieter today. But certainly is a busy player down the left flank for Swope Park Rangers. Let's see what Selbel can do, though. See if he can bring a positive influence off of the bench.
Duke, Lambert, Cortez involved in that collision. Owako on the ground. Palmer Brown blocking. Wakasa short-armed it. Now a chance to counter. Wakasa back toward position. Colliding with Belmar. Maloto. Selbel. Up the line for Storm. Pushing inside the area. On the turn, Storm back, Selbel. Selbel! Just wide of the post, and the best chance perhaps for Swope Park in this match.
I asked the question, will it be a bright spark off of the bench? I think we have our answer. That was a great effort from him. Storm was turned away by Velasquez beautifully. It comes back to Selbel. Takes a little touch to his right and tries to bend that into the upper right-hand corner, just missing.
Tell me if this sounds familiar. The coach says about Selbel, small player who plays big. Phoenix is packed with those kinds of players. Regi and Wright Phillips, Owako.
Lots of energy from those players, and we've already seen it from Selbel as well. One of the nice things about soccer is you don't have to have a specific body type in order to be successful.
Belmar giving chase, Wakasa back. Cohen waits, delivers the ball out. There's Owako. Cortez. Drogba. Lambert. And now Owako. Service over Drogba, and Dia could not steer it on target.
Ball just drifted on Deere as it goes over everybody to the far post. That was a beautiful build-up play from Phoenix Rising. Here Wakasa coming up the right flank, asking for the play to be held up as he joined the attack. Drogba switches it back to the left. Deere probably saw that ball a little bit late, wasn't able to turn it on frame. A sustained build-up from the Phoenix Rising team. Nicely done.
Off the back of Victor Vasquez. Duke. Downshifting Moloto. Phoenix trying to break away in the 75th minute. Cortez, who's scored 33 goals in his USL career.
Great job, Belmar. Cortez had to slow things down. He didn't have the support going in front of him. Wanted the outlet pass to Wakasa, the right fullback. Wakasa was coming. He was tracked the whole way by Belmar. Great defense.
Back for Cortez. Cody Wakasa, the 23-year-old, came out of a very strong Cal Poly program that's fed LA Galaxy too these last couple seasons. Lambert beat one, but not the second. Is there a card coming for Lambert against Moloto here? There won't be. A conversation with Guido Gonzalez. Might only be one more of those.
A little surprised the card didn't come out. That was a professional foul at the halfway line there. Lambert knew what he was doing. A little tug of the shoulder. But he got the wag of the finger from the referee. Don't do it again, young man, or I will give you a card.
Well, that's kept in here. And Marr continuing. Cortez slid out. Marr goes back. It's Christian Duke.
Turn.
Moloto bypasses Storm, goes down the middle, lifted over the top. It's Belmar! Carlton Belmar saved by Cohen. That was fantastic from Swope Park and sheer frustration from Belmar.
Well, it's great defense in the right fullback position from Cortez that gives this opportunity back to Swope Park Rangers. They had to reset, and they did so fantastically well. The ball just scooped over the top, collective with the chest. Brilliantly done by Hernandez on that scoop pass. Belmar needed to go to the far post and high, wasn't able to. Lost his balance, went near post and low, and Cohen was there for the save. Things are starting to open up.
You're saying that maybe this second half has proven a bit more playoff-like than the first?
Absolutely, and it's getting better and better as the minutes go by.
It's not too early to think about what the playoff format means for extra time. How these teams would need to approach it. Back heel from Cortez. Matt Watson moving forward. Marr dispossessed him. It's a goal kick in the end. There'll be two 15-minute extra time periods, no golden goal, and it would go to penalties if still level at the end of the 30 minutes of extra time.
Physical battle there. And the referee calling for the goal kick rather than the foul, which I think there probably was one there from Watson as he was trying to get that ball off of the foot of Marr.
Kicked away by McLeod.
Vidic and Palmer Brown have been pretty good on those clearing headers in the center back positions. Those long balls played forwards by Phoenix Rising.
Ball for Dia. Well, Johnny on the spot. Vidic again.
This time not the header, the old Gary Owen clearance up the pitch.
Lobbed up for Carlton Belmar. Hernandez. And that'll run out of play. Rhesus Dental and Phoenix Rising want to thank all fans who participated in this year's Smile of the Game promotion. Rhesus Dental, their focus, providing quality and affordable dental care and braces to you and your family. Schedule an appointment, head to ResusDental.com. That was Liz from Phoenix. I think anyone who was at the Thirsty Lion last night deserves smile of the game sticking around. There were fans that made their way back into the stadium here in Kansas City. The expectation of play continuing on before lightning struck just a minute or two before the top of the hour. It was midnight Eastern time, 11 Central time, and 9 in the Phoenix time zone.
So on the Phoenix website that they were actually trying to restart the get together again at the Thirsty Lion at 1 o'clock today. Not sure how many people will be there, but if they are, hopefully they're enjoying the action.
A few Phoenix Rising loggers consumed.
We still need to try that.
Yeah. Last year it was FC Cincinnati with the blood orange ale, I think it was.
Belmar and Moloto trying to work their runs over the back of the Phoenix Rising back line.
Palmer Brown. Josh Cohen will pull this in. Swope Park playing the role of the favorite, the 4 seed. Despite the identical record, they won the home playoff game on goal difference. Last year, the Western Conference champion was in 12th in July, climbed the standings, finished 4th, ended up hosting, well, 3 straight home playoff games, which the way the upsets are breaking right now in the West, that could happen again. Sacramento taking out Real Monarchs. San Antonio just outlasting Tulsa last night, so the 2 seed has moved on. And Oklahoma City shocking Reno 1868, the expansion team with 75 goals in 32 games. Couldn't muster one up against Jimmy Nielsen and the Energy last night.
Some great work in net. Cochran, the goalkeeper, making some great saves down the stretch for OKC Energy.
That's what we were doing during the break last night. Bouncing ball for Drogba was cut out with ease. Easily by Selbel. Cortez. Shot once. Watson has Wakasa available to his right. Keeps it himself past Hernandez. Watson pushing. Watson sent it across. Drogba has it in the area. He's driving toward the byline still. Ultimately off Parker Mart, who followed him all the way to the byline, and a corner coming for the Rising.
Strong defense there from Mart. Put that one out for the corner kick. Industry on the run from Watson, creating the initial opportunity, and then Didier Drogba keeping that Industry going.
Drogba. Header one, and Hernandez sending it further still. Vasquez. Owako. Owako was offside.
Good movement defensively there from Didic, the centre back. Keeping an eye on everything going on around him. Good clearance off of the corner kick, and then marshalling his defenders around him, making sure the line was tight. Looking around, seeing Owako was in an offside position, didn't panic, but corrected his body position so that he could get back defensively if he needed to.
Jidic for Duke, who was indeed fouled. Winner will have Sacramento next week, and they'll have them at home. Initially, it looked like the winner of this game was going to have to go on the road to Rio Tinto and Sandy, Utah. It would not be the case. Sacramento, the upset of the tournament so far, 2017 USL Cup playoffs. Free kick for Jidic. Foot in from Lambert. Take the ball back for Phoenix. Well, looks like neither team really came out flat after the 15-hour, whatever it ended up being, halftime break.
As we've discussed, it was not the best first half of action we saw last night, but they've made amends for it this afternoon. Just looking at the clock, can't believe there's only 6 minutes left in regulation. Second half has absolutely flown by for me.
Mar. Cortez back to defend. Pressure came from Dia. Colton Storm on the ground. And Mark from Cabo misfires wide to the left. Well, Colton Storm's mom was actually asked about it. He was catfished, Mark from Cabo. Went online, tried to find a date using an app, found a nice young woman, turned out to be Dom Dwyer and Peter Vermees, who came in to surprise him. The whole incident on video. His mom was actually at a conference. We had him on USL Coast to Coast on Sirius earlier this year. Said, "You're Mark from Cabo's mom." Yep. Yep, that's a nickname, I suppose. Colton Storm has had a fantastic rookie season for Swope Park, a real keeper for the organization. Ball off the backside. Players down behind. Didier Drogba. Action continuing through Dia. Cortez. Cortez continuing still with the ball at his feet. Drogba shooting from distance off of Cortez. That's injury to insult. Mala will allow it out.
Great defense there from Ma to just keep stringing Cortez along. You could see as Cortez was dribbling the ball, he cocked his leg 3 or 4 times trying to create or anticipate the angle for the shot, but Ma was there just to take each opportunity away. And in the end, Phoenix Rising got nothing going in the attacking third.
There's Duke again. This the highest passing accuracy team in the league. Most passes completed in the league. Patrice Carteron telling us during the week this is counterattack versus possession. Two teams with very different styles. A 4-3 win for Phoenix early in the year, which was before Patrice Carteron arrived as the head coach. Just 4 games into the tenure for Nikola Popovic. Then the 2-2 draw where that man scored twice, including in the 89th minute in a penalty. Take Phoenix into a level position. Somehow, this is the game that's 0-0 through 88 minutes. Drogba. Get a second look. Drogba serving. Clearance out to Belmar. Moloto.
Good adjustment there from Millar to get that ball. Not the best service up the line. Millar was there to adjust his positioning.
Drogba brings this down. Owako. Look at how far back Belmar is defending. It's a goal kick in the end. Your leading goal scorer is at the opposite byline late in the game. Keep Phoenix off the board.
Think this game means much?
To him, I'm sure it means a load.
Great effort from Belmar, tracking that run all the way. Phoenix dominating in the shots for the entire game, particularly in the second half, but haven't really troubled McLeod too much.
McLeod, who himself was almost beaten from 45 yards away by Didier Drogba, colliding his head off the post. Mala not only got that ball away, but got back up and kept it himself. Well done by the Ivorian.
That point in this regulation might see whether you sit back and accept the fact you'll be playing another 30 minutes, or do you go for it gangbusters and see if you can win it in the 90. Problem with that, though, is you leave yourself exposed and maybe paid by the counterattack.
A lot of white jerseys back, up the wing. There's a bit of room here to work with for Parker Marr. Checking back, Selbel shooting, bouncing in, and Cohen dives down. Now maybe one more chance here for Phoenix before stoppage time. Well done by Selbel to really bring a spark to this match.
Been really bright once he came off of the bench. That was a difficult save for Josh Cohen. I had to make sure he got his body behind it. Through traffic, bouncing in front of him, awkward ball to handle. He made no mistake. Probably thankful that that shot was played this afternoon, not last night on a wet, skiddy surface.
You do get the feeling it would take something special to beat the reigning player of the month in the USL. Josh Cohen. Wako wants the ball played to his feet. Selbel intercepting for Swope. 2 minutes of added time before we go to potential extra time. Last night's Rochester game went 2-1 over Independence at Capelli Sports Stadium. The only extra time game-winning goal scored so far in the playoffs. The other in the West went to penalties.
Frege with the game winner. It was a deflection off the back of his heel that went in the back of the net. Bit of a freak goal.
Mar. Duke. Wakasa. Hit a danger here. Mar continuing on. It's kicked out. The Swope have a late game winner in them to knock Phoenix out of the playoffs and host Sacramento next. Maloto. Owako carrying ahead. Now the question and the impetus on Phoenix. Lambert making his run. Lambert is in behind, bringing it down, followed closely, shadowed by Palmer Brown. Lambert tries to put it in the air. That's excellent defense from Palmer Brown. Headed by Mala. Attack still on for Phoenix on the ground from Watson. Cortez wheeling up the left-hand side. Too far for Gladson Owako. Still 35 seconds, maybe more remaining.
It was brilliant defense from Palmer Brown not to commit himself on that play, Mike.
Vasquez quickly met by Duke. Races on for Dia. Whistle against Didier Drogba.
Dia might have strayed into an offside position. That ball was played over the top.
Extra time. It had to be. 4 and 5. This may have been the highlight match of the opening round of the USL Cup playoffs. Belmar's 14 goals, so close to a 15th. He could not find the go-ahead goal for Swope Park. For Phoenix, they'll head to the break. Josh Cohen coming up with a couple timely saves down the stretch to send this to an extra half hour of play. Belmar looked through. Cohen was there. Swope Park and Phoenix, 4 and 5. Need 30 more. Back with more after this in Kansas City.
Trolls.
Go, 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 go! Cookies!
This is Contour from Cox. Cable TV reimagined to get you right to the good stuff.
La familia Heineken ha dejado un legado especial, una receta original con solo 3 ingredientes y todos naturales. Yo también tengo un don especial. La habilidad de llorar cuando se necesite. Bonita, ¿eh? Solo 3 ingredientes naturales. There's more behind a star.
I'm all about the fish, all about the rice. I think I'm inspired mostly by the discipline behind sushi, the hand-eye coordination, the knife skills. The knife makes a difference based on the steel and the person who made it, and more importantly, the person who uses it and takes care of it. I think there's a certain amount of elegance and simplicity And I think sushi is, in its core, simple.
This was last night at the Thirsty Lion in Tempe, Arizona. Hundreds of fans clapping and singing along just shy of kickoff. Still, nearly half of them were there by the time they called it a night at 9 p.m. Pacific. Meanwhile, in Kansas City, fans had arrived. They enjoyed the first 45 minutes. The rain started. They went off to their cars, and there were fans that made their way back into the stadium for the second half, which never did begin with a late lightning strike. We're ready to go. First extra time. Swope Park taking on Phoenix in the 4-5 matchup in the USL's Western Conference Playoff quarterfinal round. Matthew Stubbington, Mike Watts alongside. And you take a look at the scores around the league. An upset would in some ways be expected if you're out in the West, or maybe a little less so if you're in the East. It's all about how you view the bracket and the scores from yesterday.
There's been some real surprises, and the surprise is how big the score lines were, with New York Red Bulls 2 putting 4 past Charleston Battery, and then the Tampa Bay Rowdies, a great team, but putting 3 past FC Cincinnati, who are equally as good, but weren't so yesterday. So great result for Tampa Bay Rowdies. So a little bit surprising there, and of course the 4-0 win that Louisville City FC had on Friday night. So some big score lines on the eastern side of the bracket.
San Antonio, late game winner against Tulsa to move on the bottom right corner of this bracket. They'll play on Saturday. As of now, both teams are slated to play on Saturday. Here, should they host Sacramento, with time still to be determined. OKC knocking off Reno in what was a bit of a shocker last night as well. And then out in the East, New York and Tampa Bay, the reigning champions, against a team that maybe has as much buzz as anybody.
2 great teams there, and the Rowdies, just great support in Tampa, and it's going to be a really interesting matchup between those 2 squads.
Great support in St. Petersburg. In Tampa, their support, but, you know, other side of the bridge. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other in some eyes. But Tampa Bay...
It wouldn't be for those fans in St. Petersburg.
Al Lang Stadium has quickly become one of the best venues at home in the USL. But they can't make claims that Swope Park can make about their home field advantage. Coins flipped, sides chosen. Didier Drogba signing on to the team just a month into the season. His long-awaited debut came with a goal. He scored 9 this year. Carlton Belmar coming over from Portland Timbers 2. A fresh start for a player who last year struggled to find the same offensive prowess that he had in his Rookie of the Year campaign in 2015. That huddle led by Patrice Carteron and Rick Shantz, who for a time had to help lead the side. So many new faces from last year, so many new faces from opening day. Amadou Dia, Kevon Lambert, Didier Drogba, by players here from the very beginning of the year. Jordan Stewart, Sean Wright Phillips helped hold the fort down early, give them a chance to make a run into the playoffs. And Matt, if you think into extra time now, experience can be great, experience can be difficult in a couple ways. Swope Park last year made a great run through the playoffs. Phoenix has a lot of experienced players in terms of their age and where they've played, games they've played in. But tired legs, is that a question here for Swope Park? How do they handle this moment, the players who hadn't been there before?
Well, we also have to remember that we've only played 45 minutes of action, so will the fatigue factor be as big a deal this afternoon as it might have been if we'd have played a full 90 minutes today? But it certainly does come into the picture when you look at players like Drogba that have had so much experience, but are being nice now, a little longer in the tooth as far as soccer terms are concerned. But when it comes to this extra time, it's all about want to and desire, and we've seen it already this afternoon that both these squads have the want to and the desire. They just haven't found that magic in the final third to breach the defenses and the goals of McLeod and Cohen.
We'd be remiss not to thank Red Osejo, Manny Simone, Brad Canfield, Sharni Yerke, Brian Duvall, our entire team in Kansas City. This has been a 2-day production. I'm not sure that's how we planned it, but it's how it will end. Extra time. First half of extra time. 15 minutes. They'll switch sides. If still level, it goes to penalties. in the 4-5 matchup in the USL Cup quarterfinal round in the Western Conference. Phoenix has one substitute available to them. Swope Park has 2 changes that they can make over the course of this half hour. And you have to balance tactical changes with fatigue changes down this road for 2 coaches who are new to the USL Cup playoffs, and Nikola Popovic new to head coaching.
It'll be interesting to see what changes are made and when Popovic makes his changes, if he chooses to do so. Surprised there wasn't a foul called there. It looked like Wakasa pulled the arm of the attacker.
But Moloto somehow found a way to keep that still. Moloto. Jidic. Trotting ahead. Lambert. Cleared to Owako. Dia making a run up the near touch line. Ball for Didier Drogba, who's playing that central striker position to start extra time period 1. Cortez drifting to the right. No Jason Johnson. Picked up a knock last night, did not start the second half.
I don't think Phoenix Rising have played lesser for his absence. Certainly they've probably missed his presence because of the dynamic way he plays the game in the final third. Despite him not being available this afternoon, Phoenix Rising have been very much on the front foot on the attack.
Storm and Dia walking away. Storm played for North Carolina out of the Union Academy initially, signed to open the season in March. Found himself in the starting lineup 26 times. Didier Drogba lines in service. Hernandez will come away with the ball. Ian Stewart, what was deemed incidental contact, and Hernandez seems to wave his hand and agree. Owako comes to McLeod, putting in a workman's performance in this second half plus extra time.
Well, the shots have not been on target from the Phoenix Rising. He did have that one that he collided with the post from Didier Drogba that was from distance. Other than that, McLeod really hasn't had to make too many saves. The big one, of course, was that moment that he saved from Dia. The best looks, I think, really have fallen to Swope Park Rangers. Cohen has been able to match those as well.
Moloto was able to win it, and Duke plays Marr to Belmar. And Duke, the ringleader of this dynamic passing attack of Swope Park. 55 goals on the year, 3rd most in the Western Conference for the 2nd consecutive season. Cortez tracking back to defend. Hernandez off of Cody Wakasa.
Watching Cortez, he ran around a lot just moments ago. He dribbled into pressure and then did a lot of hard work to try and win the ball back after his error. At the moment, he seems just a little bit slow to recover from that exploit of expending of energy.
Lifted for Moloto. Stewart. Storm back to retrieve. Off of Amadou Dia.
Oh, the referee asked nicely.
Please.
Please go back 10 yards. See if Storm, no. Normally when that happens, the player retreats and then goes straight back to where he came from.
In the end, I think he gave about 7 yards back. Wakasa will try Gladson Awako. Palmer Brown colliding the much smaller attacking force.
Referee stopping play. Looks like Phoenix Rising are going back to the bench. Cortez, I think, is going out, and Reggie's coming in.
It did look like Cortez down the last 10 minutes of regulation and the start of extra time had lost a bit of wind. Looks like he is entirely spent. Third and final sub for Phoenix, so that's it. Reggie has had a fantastic first season with Phoenix.
I was working the game earlier in the season when he and Rooney went down hurt, and I'm very happy to see that Reggie has been able to return to play this season. Wasn't sure he was going to be able to when he went out injured in that match, but fantastic player and a real motor for this Phoenix Rising team, and will be a burst of energy, very much the way Selbo has been for Swope Park Rangers in the second half. When he came off the bench, I expect the same from Reggie in this extra time.
This is Reggie's first postseason game. He played the last 2 years at Autumn Dwelling FC Montreal, scoring 15 goals in the USL. Signed in February by Frank Yallop. Of course, Luke Rooney was so key to them last season, and at the start of this year, finally scored the first goal for Phoenix Rising at their new stadium. Injured his knee. All lobbed through. It's a long run to catch up to this. In the end, Duke slides right up to the pavement.
Great effort from the captain, leading from the front, leading by example.
At a local Shawnee Mission High School. Past the midway point of the first extra time. We'll go to 105. And on to 120 regardless of score. At which point we'll reassess whether or not penalties will be needed. Reggie throwing his foot in. Wakasa as well. Awako had his heel clipped.
Good battle on that far sideline. How both teams kept the ball in. Combination of strength and skill. They're just clipping the heels of Awako and conceding the free kick. I say it throughout matches, set pieces can be key, but even more important at this point in the match.
Ball for Drogba! He scores! Phoenix has the lead. Drogba taking an ownership role in this team in the playoffs.
Reggie on the free kick, serves it in with his right foot. Puts it into no man's land, and the goalkeeper McLeod bit on that. Out comes the keeper, couldn't make a play on the ball. Palmer Brown was there defensively, but he wasn't able to make a play on the ball, but Drogba was, just the slightest of touches with the forehead. And the ball dribbles over the goal line. It may not be spectacular, but boy, is it important.
Number 10 in 14 games. Number 5 in his last 4. Legendary moment from the franchise's legendary player. 9th minute of extra time. Well, now Swope Park has 20 minutes to save their season. Line drive from distance is wide. Dakota Barnathan. That was deflected on the way, and Barnathan has won a corner for Swope. Hernandez, Cohen.
Wasn't anybody in the picture as far as Swope Park were concerned. No runs at all. That was a wasted set piece from the Rangers.
Pressure coming from Regi. McLeod. Jidic. This is an extraordinarily resilient Swope Park Rangers team. Storm. Duke. Selbel. Selbel ran right into Guido Gonzalez. Beg your pardon, it's Moloto. Can you yellow card yourself?
I was just wondering what the call's going to be on this one.
I get that he's part of play, but let's look for an elbow here from Guido Gonzalez. I'm not sure Guido didn't get the worst of that.
Moloto may have knocked his nose on the head of the referee as they collided with each other.
I don't know Guido to take any dives. He was quick back to his feet.
Certainly was. An interesting situation. Should be a drop ball. That was the question that was being asked by Josh Cohen, and thumb up from the referee saying, yes, that is going to be the case. Well, would you give you the free kick both ways just to make it fair? There was a drop ball played back all the way to McLeod. It's a shame because the Rangers were getting a bit of consistent possession there at the start of their attacking third. Guarantee the referee is embarrassed and upset that he got involved in play in that way.
I'm surprised it doesn't happen more. Lambert.
Most often you see a referee, the ball gets deflected off of them, and having been a referee, it's an embarrassment and you hate disrupting play in that way. But it does happen.
Mala. Drogba, the goal scorer, wheeling it toward Regi into empty space. A Phoenix team that's a bit banged up. Sean Wright-Phillips will not feature. He did make the trip. They brought 21 players with them on the road. Make sure they had the full 18 allotted come game time. Now Jason Johnson has picked up a bit of a knock, it appears. Subbed out at halftime. Peter Ramage on the bench.
Players going forwards for the Rangers, trying to find a way to get into a passing lane. So far, the Phoenix Rising back line is standing strong.
1 minute of added time in this opening extra time period. Selbel, Wakasa. Did send that up the touchline.
Did well with that one, Carson. That was a very awkward ball to deal with from the cross. High floated ball into the penalty area, controlled it with his left, cleared it with his right.
Storm will try and push up the right-hand side and give a bit of width. Giddich plays it. It's outside back. Storm. Storm squaring, slipping through. The through ball played. Ball across Selbel. Bit too high. Regi clears.
Vasquez was a little slow to react to that attack from Swope Park Rangers to end the first period of extra time.
Owning the moment, nothing new for Didier Drogba. Phoenix and Swope level through 90 minutes, but it would be no more. 39 years old, 99th minute, and Phoenix has their first playoff goal. The playoff lead. Second extra time, 15 more minutes coming up.
I'm all about the fish, all about the rice. I think I'm inspired mostly by the discipline behind sushi, the hand-eye coordination, the knife skills. The knife makes a difference based on the steel and the person who made it, and more importantly, the person who uses it and takes care of it. I think there's a certain amount of elegance and simplicity, and I think sushi is in its core simple.
At Pruitt's, savings and style live comfortably together. And right now, the selection has never been better. Just look at this three-piece Sonoma Shea sectional, only $599. And this urban casual four-piece bedroom, just $499. Visit Pruitt's for the lowest prices and best selection. Alma School and Ray or Thomas Road and 34th Street. Pruitt's, proudly serving the Valley for 65 years.
Okay, one large popcorn, couple of drinks, that's $15.75.
I got this.
What are you doing? Oh, mind tricks. That's cute, buddy. But you still have to pay.
With Arizona Federal Credit Union, I can pay with my Apple Watch. I don't need cash or card.
Stop.
Arizona Federal provides mobile solutions when you need them most.
You will upgrade your popcorn for $1 more.
I will upgrade my popcorn for $1 more.
Really?
No.
Arizona Federal. Now that's the power of us.
Phoenix and Swope Park, extra time period number 2 on the way. Didier Drogba starting this second half with a bang. Sadly, was McLeod's head against the goal.
And then he continued that bang into the extra time period. The slightest of touches with the forehead to take the ball past McLeod, who's played so well in net for Swope Park Rangers. But it's the big man, the big moment. Didier Drogba getting the go-ahead goal in the first period of extra time.
And it's 1-0 in favor of Phoenix as we go to extra time number 2. We'll go up to 120. And if it's level, we'll go to penalties in the quarterfinal round of the 2017 USL Cup Western Conference playoffs.
Let's see how Phoenix Rising decide how they're going to play. Didier Drogba indicating that he wants his team to come up with him and play defense higher up the pitch. So I think that's an indication of how he wants to play this second period. He doesn't want to sit back defensively and invite the pressure from Swope Park Rangers, and I think that might be the best course of action for Phoenix Rising. Sit back at your peril and invite the pressure. You're going to concede a lot of opportunities on your net, and that's not something you want to do. Jedic still has substitutions available, Mike. Be interested to see whether he goes to his bench or not.
Gavon Lambert a foul. Phoenix has no subs available to them at this stage. Made 2 out of halftime for Swope. They made a move to Nonsel Selbel, sending Tyler Pasher off midway through the second half. Well, the pressure from Phoenix continuing to push Swope a bit further. Can Swope take advantage of a bit of a stretched Phoenix Rising? Barnathan recovers. Long for Belmar. Maloto starting the run. Hernandez dishing off and on the ball again. Maloto. Swope had nearly twice as many passes in the first half of this match. They're trying to turn it into a real attacking threat. Ball stabbed down in the box. Maloto knocks it back. Shot is on. Belmar's effort deflects back, and Phoenix will put it out for a corner.
Well, there defensively again to block the shot. Stewart puts it out for the corner kick. Allows his team to get set defensively for the set piece. Sustained pressure there from Swope Park Rangers. The outside backs are going forwards with a bit more aggression in this second period of extra time.
Colton Storm scuffed back. Wako got a touch. Storm takes it and pushes ahead. Maloto, player down inside the 18 for Phoenix. Ball sent to the penalty spot. Lofted up, header is in for Swope Park. They level the score. It's Amir Jedic. 1-1.
Didier Drogba is down on the field throughout this play, holding his leg. The ball comes in. Belmar on the initial header didn't get anything on it that he wanted to. Didic got everything he wanted to on that ball. And the goalkeeper, Cohen, couldn't make the save because his defender, Stewart, had come back to the goal line. And neither player could make the play, and it ends up in the back of the net. And Drogba in the front of the picture, holding his hamstring of his left leg.
The flair for the dramatic in this Swope Park team not diminished over this offseason and through the 2017 year. Now Didier Drogba remains down. He sat upright as Jedic ran by him and nodded the ball past. Stewart in the way of Cohen as he tried to dive through. Drogba, who scored in the 99th minute, has his goal equalized in the 109 by Jedic. But Phoenix has no substitutes available, so Didier Drogba is going to have to make every effort to stay in this thing.
Huge moment. Perhaps earlier in the match, in a different scoreline, Swope Park Rangers would have played that ball out to allow Drogba to get seen to, but 1-0 down. Second period of extra time, sorry. You're not going to give up possession and an opportunity in your attacking third. Can't fault the Rangers for that. And that man there made the most of every opportunity that they had.
Born in Bosnia, raised in Edmonton, played at Baker University, twice an All-American. Last year earning a spot with Sporting Kansas City as their center back, in part due to injuries in the Scotiabank CONCACAF Champions League campaign. Came in as a preseason trialist initially. Didier Drogba, 39 years old, his legend at Chelsea, as well as for the Ivorian national team. Dwarfs that of any other player that's ever played in this league.
He's not a happy camper. Walking up the pitch, he was yelling to somebody. I'm not sure whether it was a Swope Park Rangers player or one of his teammates, but He was furious, hobbling over to the far sideline.
One wonders if that sets the table for something late in this match. Regi back to his feet, driving the byline, sending it across. Popped up, Jinic. Wakasa allows it back to Stewart. Stewart on his left, deflected down. Regi stepping back in. Palmer Brown got a touch. Palmer Brown throwing down Regi. Free kick to Phoenix. And I think perhaps earlier than that, there may have been a handball on Palmer Brown, beg your pardon. Could have been called too.
I think you're right. The referee chose to let play continue. And a free kick at the top of the box. Who would normally take this for Phoenix Rising? Didier Drogba, and he just strained his hamstring.
And wouldn't want to speculate one way or another about what an injury could be to him. Throwing away the disappearing foam, as he typically does. Injured a moment ago. Scored in the first extra time. Had a game-tying goal from 25 yards away against Orange County earlier this year. And a go-ahead goal against LA Galaxy 2 from 50 yards away. Made waves. And now Darren McLeod looking down the barrel. One of the great goal scorers of our time. Drogba over the ball. McLeod in net. Drogba! Saved by McLeod. He popped it over. It was on target. McLeod, a tremendous save.
Keeper would have seen that late. He had 9 players in that wall in front of him. Beautiful footwork from the keeper to his right to tip that one over the crossbar.
The kind of season changing save that McLeod just offered. How significant will it prove? Guido Gonzalez having a discussion with Amadou Dia and Colton Storm. Those two former first-round picks are jostling still in front of McLeod. Regi will take the corner kick. Jinic rose up to meet it. Brought down by Awako. Got by Selbel. Awako dispossessed. Jinic. Play continues.
Rising FC thought there was a handball at the top of the box there, Mike.
Service across Dia. Selbel plays it back. Mar into the stands. Drogba closely followed by 2. Wakasa pokes it back. Wakasa. Ball ricocheting back in play. Lambert. Cross field. Kicked into the Phoenix bench.
Beautiful save by the goalkeeper McLeod, and fantastic free kick from Drogba to get that one up and over the wall from that close with that power. As if we need another testament to the man's skill and ability. That was another example of it.
Played all the way back to Josh Cohen. Would be no flick there from Drogba, came to Regi. Bit of infighting here, Maloto against Luigi Mala.
Those two have spent a lot of time together throughout this match. Mala has come off the better of most of the exchanges.
Awako. Dish is wide. Dia was offside.
Frustration there for Dia. Know your position on the pitch. You're looking along the line of the defenders. You know whether you're onside or not. As he picks up the ball and strolls back to his defensive position, you can just see how annoyed he was with himself.
Vasquez. Up the line, Dia. Drogba wants the cutback. Drogba shooting deflected wide of the post.
The goal scorer for the Rangers, Didic, deflects that one out for the corner kick, and his reaction was a huge sigh of relief as that hit his foot. He had no idea where it was going. Great decisive run there from Dia, cuts it back beautifully. A well-struck shot from Drogba. Deflects off Didic and out.
It'll be Rigi. Jidic there. Owako popped up in the air. Drogba knocked over by Jidic. Played back by Owako. Down to Stewart. Stewart got a hand up, hit Duke. Play continues. Rigi stepping back, cutting the cross. Bounces down. McLeod did keep that in and possesses for Swope Park.
A round of applause there from Drogba, ever the sportsman, appreciating the effort from the goalkeeper, keeping that one in play.
And now a chance for Parker Marr and Swope Park to respond. Ansel Selbel puts the work in, ball across, comes to Maloto! Swung it wide. Maloto oh so close.
As that ball's coming across, he anticipated where the goalkeeper was going. The travel of Cohen was taking him to the goalkeeper's left. Maloto went across the grain, trying to get it to his right. And in the end, drags it wide of the upright.
Distribution not strong for Phoenix. It's Selbel. Selbel not cut off here. Finally now, Watson stepped in. Lacasa was caught between a rock and a hard place. Swope trying to keep this from penalties with a late goal. Our second playoff appearance from the 4 seed, trying to make good work. Wako. Dia. Dia racing forward for Phoenix. Lays it in front for Owako. It's out by Jidic and a corner coming for Rising. Jidic has played a fantastic game, goal included.
Been absolutely brilliant, him in partnership with Palmer Brown. But in the last few moments, he has been so important in the back line, deflecting the ball out for 2 corner kicks. Stopping the Phoenix Rising for having golden opportunities on frame this late in the second period.
Rigi take the corner. Alessandro Rigi, a flick across from Drogba. Selbel pokes it out at the touchline. Numbers forward for Rising. For Swope, they can get you so quickly on the counter. Have to be careful. Ball thrown into the area. Lambert trying to put a head to that. It's an excellent clearance. Stewart. Watson. Rigi pushing toward the corner. Stewart has kept this in. Storm out near the halfway line. Is there a little more time to be had? No, it's on to penalties. Didier Drogba in the 99th. Jidic in the 109th. A game that's lasted over 2 days surely had to go the distance. Extra time complete. And now spot kicks to decide who's on to face Sacramento in the next round.
Moments of magic at both ends of the pitch. Talked about it was all about want to and desire, and on that tying goal from that man there, Didic, it was all about want to and desire. Reacted fastest, reacted first. Heading the ball into the back of the net. Drogba's still not happy.
Well, Drogba, some 20 minutes ago, had a very big reason to be happy. Part owner, part player. In this moment, the header just behind McLeod and in the 99th.
It's a beautiful ball in from Rigi, the substitute. Strength from Drogba, the faintest of touches, the ball dribbles into the back of the net. Tell me this game doesn't mean something to that man. Look at the celebration, enjoying the moment. But then there was another moment. Belmar couldn't get the purchase on the ball that he wanted. Didic did. Cohen couldn't do anything about it. Stewart couldn't do anything about it. And in the tying goal goes from Didic.
And in the 109th minute, it was level. Didic had one goal all season. And now the question is, who will take on Sacramento on Saturday night? Sacramento went to penalties on Friday evening, knocking off the #1 seed. Real Monarchs led for half of the game, gave up a late penalty in the 86th minute. Chandler Hoffman buried his 17th goal of the year. But Danny Cruz, MLS veteran, Sebastian Velasquez, nor Chandler Hoffman bury their penalties. Sacramento was on.
Evan Newton, the goalkeeper for Sacramento, the hero, saving 2 of those PKs.
Guido Gonzalez does the honors. Well, there's a grin there. Didier Drogba is having a few words that go beyond, I want to kick first. Well, this is a question of who wants to take a penalty, who needs to take a penalty.
Well, my philosophy as a coach was always, if a player wants to, they go in the 5. Not everybody wants to make that long, lonely walk from the halfway line into the penalty box and have their moment 1v1 from 12 yards away.
It wouldn't be his first opportunity. You can see Rick Shantz discussing the captain of this side, Patrice Carteron, there on the left-hand side, level with Didier Drogba. Notebook in hand, always taking notes. Someone's season ends today. They finished level on points, the exact same record. Both teams started as 500 or lesser clubs through 9 games, and then they turned it on. The 2 best teams in the second half of the season, the 4 and the 5 in the USL Cup playoffs. This young Western Conference champion team, so many familiar faces. Is this the end? For Phoenix, such a turnaround. So many new faces. They see their season end on the road. So it will be Phoenix to shoot first. Darren McLeod saving a late free kick. Hoping to get Swope to this point. It's Kevon Lambert. Just 10 games in a Phoenix uniform. The Jamaican international signing August the 10th from Montego Bay United. Played in Gold Cup in Phoenix at University of Phoenix Stadium. Drew the eyes of the coaching staff. Their investment may never be bigger than it is now. Lambert McLeod, first penalty of the shootout. Saved by McLeod. The rookie coming up huge in the first round.
He's got to be absolutely amped up inside, but calmly walking away. The goalkeeper, he guessed correctly. Probably not the best PK we've ever seen taken, but the goalkeeper made no mistake. Beautifully saved by McLeod.
Nansel Selbel came on at halftime. Cannot understate the value he's brought. Josh Cohen, his first year with Phoenix, coming from Orange County, has played in playoff games before. Has knocked off a #1 seed before. Everybody congregating behind Cohen. Swope Park to take the lead in the first round of the penalty shootout. Selbel got it just over Cohen. He guessed correct, and Selbel burying it. 1-0 Swope Park.
Beautifully done, accurate with power. To the right side of the goal, well taken PK. Cohen, very little chance saving that, even though he did guess the correct direction.
Amadou Dia, former Sporting Kansas City draft pick, brought in mid-season, debuted with Drogba, assisted Didier's first goal in the USL. Dia against McLeod. Just underneath McLeod. Dia on a razor's edge buries the penalty. 1-1.
I think the smile says it all, a little bit of relief, and he knows he got away with one. McLeod there waxed on, he should have been waxing off to save that one.
It's the captain, Christian Duke. First signing in team history. Began with the Kansas City Academy in 2007. Over a decade later, one of the biggest kicks of his career. Christian Duke sends it right and sends Cohen wrong. 2-1 Swope Park through 2 rounds.
Cohen active on the goal line, waiting for the kick to be taken. Gets his momentum going to his right. Calmly done by Duke, waiting for the keeper to move. And then pulls the trigger and puts it in the back of the net.
Another newcomer mid-season for Phoenix, Gladson Owako. Started the last 8. The Ghanaian, who Patrice Cantaron knew so well. Owako to level it. Owako knocks it in. 2-2 through 2.5 rounds.
A word of an encouragement for his goalkeeper. As Cohen makes his way between the pipes. A calmly taken penalty kick from Owako, well done by him.
For Swope Park, Carlton Belmar, leading scorer, second round pick in 2015. The son of a Navy petty officer, native of Virginia. First year with the franchise. To retake the lead for Swope Park, Belmar. Belmar got it by Cohen, who dove correctly again. And Swope Park leads 3-2 in the shootout.
Swope Park Rangers continue to take these penalty kicks with confidence and accuracy. Power from Belmar, as well as the pinpoint accuracy inside the right-hand upright.
Stop me if you've heard it before. All 4 penalties so far for Phoenix have been taken by players who were not there when this season began on March 25th. Luigi Mala, the Ivorian, against McLeod to start the 4th round. Mala, oh, he missed it! Swope will have a chance to win it. And most shocking of all, Didier Drogba has not shot.
There was a puff of dirt as he struck the ball. He turns and looks down in disbelief, holds his head in disbelief as that ball goes over the crossbar.
Lebo Maloto came on trial to Sporting Kansas City to win it for Swope Park. Maloto scores! Swope Park is on to the 2nd round. They'll host Sacramento, and they knock off the hottest team in the league, Phoenix, in the penalty shootout.
In the middle of the hugs is McLeod, the hero of the hour. All you ask from your goalkeeper in the penalty shootout is, can you make one save? And he did it right off the bat. Gave the advantage to Swope Park Rangers. And Phoenix Rising couldn't come back from that.
Swope Park is on to the second round. For the second straight year as the 4 seed, they will host their opening 2 playoff games. Last year, Sacramento upset in the 1-8 game. This year, Sacramento upsetting in the 1-8 game. And Swope continues in the USL Cup playoffs to the next round as the second highest seed. And for Phoenix, it's a shocking exit in the opening round. A season where just making the playoffs was the goal. They fall short. Belotto, the hero along with McLeod, embracing the zoo. Swope Park through on penalties, 4-2. For Matt Stubbington, Mike Watts, Phoenix falls, Swope is on. Thanks for watching this coverage of the USL Cup playoffs. Good night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.